Hello guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to another video and welcome to my Zalcano boss guide. It's been a while since I've done a guide of any kind, so yeah, I'm going to be doing a guide today on Zalcano, which is a skilling boss found in Prifddinas, and I'm going to explain the mechanics of this to you, what drops it has, how to get efficient kills, and many more. So yeah, please watch the entire video and follow the on-screen annotations as well as you can, and if I don't explain anything, feel free to comment on this video or drop me a message in-game and I'll be happy to explain anything. Just to briefly explain this boss, it is a skilling boss found in Prifddinas level 336 with a max hit of 53. It has 1000 HP, which will be inflicted using the skills mining, runecrafted and smithing, and usually you will do this in 3 different phases. There are high requirements for this boss. You must have completed the Song of the Elves quest, you need 70 mining and you need 70 smithing to be able to take on Zalcano. I would also recommend that you have high runecrafting, high agility, access to the Varrock armor 2 to 4, and a supply of stamina potions, phoenix necklaces, and Saradomin brews. But no voice cracks. There's a few ways to set up for this boss. It's about finding what works for you. So what worked for me really well was the mining cape and the Varrock armor, which gives you a chance of mining multiple tephra at the same time. A phoenix necklace in case the boulders damage you and your health gets very low, and it will just heal you briefly. And then either full graceful or the best weight reducing clothing that you have will do. For your inventory, if you're new to this boss, I'd recommend you bring some stamina potions and Saradomin brews, especially if your agility and HP are lower, but if you're a bit more experienced you won't need too many brews or stamina potions, and instead just bring a few in case you make mistakes. And you'll also need yourself a teleport crystal to get to Prifddinas if you're not already there, but you can bank that once you get there, as the teleport is right outside the bank. The easiest way to get to this boss is to simply use the teleport crystal. You can acquire that by killing elves and teleport to Prifddinas, and then run southeast to the teleport block. There's also a bank here if you want to bank during the trip, or just grab some more supplies. So channel the teleport platform, and if you haven't already done so, it's 375 and 378 are the unofficial worlds for this boss. So if you hop to them, you should be able to find a decent sized team. If not, you could do it on any world, just with a group of friends if you wanted to. But yeah, 375 and 378 are the 2 worlds that I found to be the most busy for this boss. And you can peek inside to check if Zalcano is there and also how many people are there. So yeah, I would not recommend entering the boss until it's either at very high health or it hasn't spawned, otherwise you will probably not get a drop. Before we start the fight, if possible I recommend you do this fight in the resizable mode if you can, as it makes it a lot easier to navigate your way around the area, and also know when the portals are spawning and know when you're going to take damage. So I recommend you do that. If you can't, that's fine, just follow the exact same principles but apply them to the smaller screen. This fight has 3 phases. They're all identical in terms of what you have to do. So you'll be waiting for Zalcano to spawn. She usually does about 10 seconds after dying. And in phase 1, you need to first mine the tephra. So you need to head to the rock that is glowing out of the 4 in the room, and this varies. And you want to mine 4 to 6 tephra and make your way to the furnace on the east side of the room, while avoiding all of these little amber portals. Talk more about those after this. Once you're ready, refine the tephra in the furnace, and then imbue the tephra on the west side of the room. Once you've done that, you can either throw at Zalcano, or you can wait for the portals to spawn again and throw once you're inside a blue one. So if you're in a strong team, I'd recommend you throw at Zalcano when you can, but if your team's either smaller or not as strong, wait for the portals like this one to spawn and head into the blue zones and attack Zalcano. And as soon as you've inflicted enough damage, mine Zalcano to finish the end of phase 1, and you will deal 1/3 of her health. And as soon as that phase is over, repeat this process. So head to the rock which is glowing. She may destroy it with this attack, and if so, and you haven't got enough tephra, head to the next rock that's glowing. And if you have enough tephra anyway, feel free to refine it and then imbue it in the same way you did in the last zone. These spawns are random, so you need to avoid the orange ones as they will deal you a lot of damage every tick. So yes, now you have the choice again. You can either throw at Zalcano or wait for her to spawn more, which she did, and I did that. And then mine Zalcano once she is done. The damage inflicted by the mining phase, this part is determined by your mining level, but the damage inflicted by the tephra that you throw is determined by your rune crafting and smithing levels. So this is why people with max capes often will get to the MVP a lot of the time. So yeah, repeat the process one more time. And as I said, yeah, if you're in a strong group, I recommend that you get just 3 to 4 tephra, as you will likely not be able to throw any more than that, as enough damage will be done already. Yes, you may have noticed those big boulders. I'll be getting to them in just a second, but avoid them and make use of client plugins that you've got to assist with this boss. So wait for the portals to spawn, attack Zalcano, and as soon as she's dead, mine her, and you will finish the kill. And yes, she respawns in 10 seconds, so pick up your loot and your crystal shards, and either drink a dose of stamina potion, or heal yourself, and then get ready for the next kill. If that seemed confusing, don't worry, I'm just going to break down each of Zalcano's attacks, how you can avoid them, and how you can efficiently kill this skilling boss. First up, the hot and cold portals or circles. If you go in them, you will take damage every tick, so do not do this. But inversely, if you go in the blue ones, you will be stronger when you throw tephra and likely hit more damage, so always throw your tephra if there are blue portals available. These are the dangerous attacks. Boulders will fall from the ceiling, but you can avoid these by simply stepping off the square that they are due to fall in, and also watch out for when she spawns them while you're attacking her. While mining a rock, Zalcano may throw an attack that destroys the entire rock. You can avoid this by moving away from the rock straight away, otherwise you will take heavy damage. Like that. Another thing Zalcano does is throw out a golem at some point during the fight, or multiple times. This will heal him 50 HP if you do not kill it, and you can kill it the same way as you would damage him, by throwing tephra. It also drops imbued tephra afterwards, so you can also restock that way. She also causes rubble from the ceiling. This deals you minor damage and it is unavoidable but not harmful. Finally, while mining him, if you don't move away quick enough, he will send a shockwave and stun you briefly, so always, as soon as you see the arrow disappear, make sure you move to the next rock and start the next phase. As for the drops from this boss, there are a few that are noteworthy. There is the Zalcano shard, which can be added to the dragon pickaxe as a cosmetic. There is the crystal tool seed, which you can add to a pickaxe to create a crystal pickaxe. There is the small Kano pet, very small chance of this, and also a small chance of an uncut oinks, 1 in 8,000. She also drops lots of items related to mining, smithing and rune crafting, such as runes, ores, bars, and also onyx bolt tips, gems, and a range of other stuff. This is calculated by the damage that you do on her. You must inflict 50 damage on the throwing tephra at her, and you must inflict 50 damage when you mine her. So yeah, a minimum 100 damage to qualify for a drop. And then what the drop is, the amount of it is determined by how much damage you've done. In terms of money per hour, this can vary depending on your mining, smithing and runecrafting levels and how strong your team is as well. With a strong team, I managed to get 20 kills in 1 hour, and this is all the drops that I get, and I was probably doing it when I'd learned the boss a lot better than before, so you can see I made just over 900k profit, but I have had hours where I've made more, and I've also had a few where I've made less, so it does depend on a lot of factors such as your RNG and also how strong your team is. And so don't get too discouraged if you don't make too much money earlier on. Once you learn the boss, once you learn how to damage it more often, you'll start making a lot more money. In terms of the XP rates, I got about 10k mining XP, 2.5k smithing XP, and 1.2k runecrafting XP per hour in this game. So if you hate leveling runecrafting, then maybe it'll be useful over time just for getting a couple of levels. But yeah, the XP rates aren't great, but that's not really a reason why you would do this boss. Now I just want to go over a bit of advice for this boss, for pretty much what I've learned from doing 100 kills of it. Firstly, don't get arrogant with any of the attacks and think that you will avoid damage, because it's very, very easy to get damaged, especially by the portals or by one of the rock boulders, so always move out of the way if the tile is red, and don't ever sort of risk it in this boss, especially when you're on low HP. I have died at this boss and I've seen a lot of people die, so especially with the rock boulders, avoid those at all cost. Next, I would advise on throwing all of your tephra, especially if you're in a strong group. That's why I say don't mine more than sort of 6, because if you're in a good group, you won't get to throw more than 6. So yeah, always focus on using up all of your tephra. If that means not using the boosts, then sometimes that's the right thing to do. But if you want to wait for the boosts, you can. But just make sure you've got none left over at the end of each phase, because it will be destroyed. I didn't mention that. It was only an on-screen annotation, but I will mention it now. Zalcano destroys all of your tephra, whether it's imbued, mined, or refined. So make sure you use all of the tephra that you get from each phase. So don't mine too much, don't mine too little, and be as efficient as you can. The obvious one, avoid the big boulders at all costs. This dungeon is not a safe death, although you can reclaim your items. I mean by that if you're a hardcore Iron Man, you will lose your status if you die here. So yes, do not let those big boulders hit you. If you've got less than 40 HP, chances are you will get one hit and killed. As I said, you can get your items back just by going to the same area. But it is not a safe death overall, and especially if you don't have any teleport crystals left, or you're a hardcore Iron Man. So yes, avoid those boulders. My final piece of advice is be patient if you're struggling. The first 30 kills of this, I must have used loads of supplies. It took me a while to actually learn the proper mechanics and how to kill the boss efficiently. And after a while, now I'm killing it pretty much taking no damage, unless I get bad luck with the portal spawns, or make the odd mistake here and there, which does happen if I'm a bit AFK and trying to focus on something else. Yes, do be patient if you're struggling with this boss. You will get there, and you will be able to do sort of 20 kills an hour comfortably with a strong group at some point, and you'll be able to make loads of money. Okay, so that's it for my Zalcano boss guide. I will be releasing a video showing the loot I got from either 200 or 300 kills of this boss. Again, if anything wasn't clear in this video, please drop me a message either in the comments on social media or in game. Feel free to add me, kick it off. That is my name. It's the Norishan, if you don't know. But yeah, I hope that did make sense. As I said before, it did take me sort of 30 to 40 kills to stop taking damage, so be patient with this boss, and you'll be able to make a decent amount of money, I'm sure, over time. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe with some feedback for me. If you've got any, whether it's constructive or positive, I don't mind. And otherwise, take care of yourselves in these troubled times, and I will see you in the next video.